Everyone thinks that motor shows are dead, but Toyota think different because they brought me here to look at 5 new electric cars. Now, some of them are a bit meh, but one in particular I really like, and I think you're going to like it too. So to find out about that and one particularly crazy new car, hang around and please like and subscribe and all that. Thank you. First up is the CHR Plus. Is it just me, or does it look like a Lexus with all those swoops and swishes? I certainly think it looks a lot posher than the bigger BZ4X. At 4.5 metres long, the CHR Plus fits under the BZ4X and above the new urban cruiser in the company's electric lineup. That makes it a rival to a Skoda Elroq and a Kia EV3. Although said to be inspired by the existing Toyota CHR hybrid, the CHR Plus doesn't actually share any parts with it at all, except that badge. You'll be able to choose between a 57.7 or a 77 kWh battery, giving up to 373 miles of range, beating the Elroq's 360 mile capability and just pipping the EV3's 372 mile figure. The smaller pack will be exclusive to the front-wheel drive model, while the bigger battery with 77 kWh will be available for both front and all-wheel drive powertrains. That all-wheel drive version will be quick too, with 338 brake horsepower and an 0-62 time of 5.2 seconds. The front-wheel drive model with the 57.7 kWh battery will have 165 brake horsepower, while opting for the 77 kWh battery increases the output to 221 brake horsepower. You with me? Head over to the website if you weren't taking notes, as I'll put all the details there. Now inside, there's no revolution, it's not crazy, there's no mad styling, but it's all very nice in here, and it's a bit nicer than it is in the BZ4X. You've got this huge screen here, there's another one in front of you that you can actually see, unlike in Toyota's other cars. 2 big charging pads, lots of storage space, and of course all the build quality you want. There's also this big panoramic sunroof, which makes a bit of a difference in the back and makes it much lighter. In the back here is where you notice there's a little less space than the BZ4X though. It's not tight, but I can't get my feet under this seat, which is a shame. But that big sunroof makes all the difference. Headroom, just about adequate, but it's quite a swoopy car. If you're any taller than me, you might start to squeeze on the headroom here, but I've got a couple of inches there. I think it's that sort of swoopy coupe back that means that you're losing out on your headroom a bit. The coupe-like tailgate hides 416 litres of load space, which is a bit small for the class. It's beaten by the Ford Explorer's 445, the Skoda's 470, and the Kia EV3's 485 litres. It does have some clever compartments and boot floor configurations to make the most of the space though. Got a bit more money burning a hole in your pocket? Then here's something else for you. If you like your Toyota electric crossovers a little, well, posher, then there's this, the Lexus RZ. Now it's always been a car which has kind of split opinion. It's got some lovely features, but it's not been the most efficient or the fastest to charge. Now this facelift model answers a couple of those because it's got battery preconditioning, which they say knocks half an hour off the charging time, and it's got an extra 60 miles of range just by doing some battery chemistry stuff. What no one really asks for is more power, but that's what you've got. This is the F-Sport version, or the RZ550e, so it's got some sporty spoilers and things, and even more power, more than 400 horsepower. Not quite sure it needed that, but hey. It's also got extra sound insulation. What it hasn't got though is a rear wiper, which is what everybody wanted. Now I've got the spec sheet in front of me, I can tell you the new RZ550e F Sport features a 402 brake horsepower twin motor all-wheel drive system, and it has a virtual manual gear shifting function. It's not the trick one we've seen on a concept car with a fake clutch pedal, but it does have fake change points for the 8 simulated ratios and slightly silly simulated engine noises, just like in the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Updates for the S-Sport's exterior focus on aerodynamics, including big front brake ducts, spoilers and 20-inch wheels with special resin aerodynamic covers. Inside there are bolstered seats, aluminium pedals and special dynamic ambient lighting. This paint colour, called Neutrino Grey, is exclusive to the F-Sport Model 2. In addition to that F-Sport, the new Z lineup will have two other powertrains, 221 brake horsepower in the RZ350E and 376 brake horsepower in the RZ500E. The all-wheel drive models will now have a 1500 kg towing capacity, doubling the previous limit. Structural and suspension tweaks are said to make the handling better and reduce noise, to make it quieter than ever, but this was never a noisy car anyway. It's coming to the UK in early 2026, but you'll have to wait a little bit longer for the next bit of fun from Toyota. Now, you may well not be in the market for a new EV, so did you know that we can help you find a brilliant deal on a used one? Our used car listings at electrifying.com have loads of different models with handy info like battery warranties. You can see the listings by scanning this QR code on the screen, so if you're watching on your smart TV or tablet, you can carry on watching and scroll our listings on your phone at the same time. If SUVs are a little too conventional for you, then how about this? It's Toyota's answer to the Citroën Ami, and it's called the FT-Me concept. It's below 2.5 metres and it's limited to 28 miles an hour because of the legal things. But they reckon it will cost about the same as a big phone subscription, so maybe 30 quid a month. But the really interesting part is that it genuinely is self-charging. Now, Toyota has had some grief in the past for calling it hybrid self-charging, but it really is. It has a solar panel in the roof, which Toyota say on a sunny day will add about 20 miles of range. So in theory, most drivers could get away without ever having to plug it in. That's really interesting. Also, it's got a removable passenger seat, so you can take it out, put it somewhere else, and you can put your folding bike in there or your IKEA purchase, because it's got a 1.6 metre load bay. The styling is more futuristic than the Ami 2, apparently being inspired by a jet pilot's helmet with black and white panels and a large glass area. The interior is a bit more innovative. There's no screen at all, with the FT-Me relying on your smartphone to become the instrument panel and infotainment system. To save the driver from having to prod the screen while on the move, there are buttons on the rectangular steering wheel. These can also be configured so the FT-Me can be driven solely using hand movements, so it can be operated by wheelchair users without the need for aftermarket modifications. What do you think? Would you rather have this or the Citroën? So bringing it back to reality, Toyota showed off its version of the Suzuki Vitara called the Urban Cruiser and a revised version of the BZ4X with some improvements to charging speed and range. If you'd like more info on those, head over to electrifying.com. We'll also get some videos up when we've had a chance to drive them. So what do you think of all these new Toyotas? For me, I think the FT-Me is a fascinating concept. It's got lots of interesting tech, and perhaps it's just what we need, but will it work in Britain? I mean, the roads are hardly awash with Citroën Amis, are they? I think the CHR Plus is a really nice car and an interesting alternative to something like a Kia EV3 or a Skoda Elroq. The others, well, maybe not so much. I think the improvements on the BZ4X and the Lexus RZ are more than welcome. That extra range and the charging speed were badly needed. The trouble for me is that the interesting cars are almost a year away, and a lot changes in a year. Let's see where we are then.